What is up, YouTube? Today we have a very special OTF from Microtech. Let's do it. So this is one of those knives that I could just stare at, but I'm not going to, because that's not why you clicked on this video. Hopefully you clicked on this video to hear about and see in detail the majesty of this Cerakote flat earth Microtech UTX-85. This is one of those knives that I am extremely happy and grateful to have in my collection because they don't come around that often, and to me it's very unique. So as you may know about Microtech, they have all kinds of different really cool, handle finishes with their anodization on their aluminum, different, like so many different variations. It's crazy. But every now and then they come up with something really cool and they put a full Cerakote on the handle, the clip, hardware, and the blade. And they do this on most models, I believe. Just a few times, and they don't happen often. So if you see one, snap on it and get it, because they don't happen too often. You don't see these a lot. But I love this thing so much because of that look. That super clean flat earth. I just love that color. And I personally don't think we see it enough. But the matching screws, matching button actuator, matching glass breaker, clip, and obviously the blade. Really, really cool. So before talking about that too much, this is the UTX-85, which is said to be the 85% size version of the Ultratech, which I have right here. So you can see the obvious size difference, but the overall style, shape, feel is very much the same, because it is supposed to be sort of that same knife, just 85% of it, which is pretty cool the way they did that. So you can see the resemblance, particularly in the handles. The main difference in the screw pattern being they brought this bottom one up here towards the midline a little bit, or towards the center. But the sort of chamfering on the sides, the jimping is very, very similar. The thickness is exactly the same. The button sliders are the same. The clips are the same. It's very much the Ultratech times 0.85, which obviously is very aptly named UTX-85. So that's cool. It has a very similar feel in the firing power, with probably the UTX-85 feeling ever slightly snappier. And I don't know if that's because it's a newer one or because the blade is smaller, so it just pops out faster. This thing is the hardest firing Microtech that I own now. Feels really, really good to actuate that blade. This guy is about 3 inches on the nose. If you're getting really picky, maybe 3.1, 3.05, but it's pretty much 3. Which is why I bought it and feel comfortable carrying it here where I'm located. Love the Tanto blade. Pretty much the exact same profile as the Ultratech, just a little bit shorter, so they just cut out some from the middle, otherwise it's exactly the same. Really cool, they went and did the satin flat and did the rest Cerakote. I appreciate that, one, because functionally, you don't want to put any coating on this flat section because that might interfere with the opening if you make it thicker. Plus it just gives it a really cool contrast. So it helps the little engraving here pop, and it kind of just gives it a nice shimmer to it, and it also matches with the edge. Now this factory edge came phenomenally sharp. Really excellent cutter, despite being a little bit more of an obtuse edge. Not necessarily the most amazing slicer in the world, but it has been working out super well for me. And yeah, that Cerakote is going to be fairly wear resistant as well. It's a pretty hard ceramic coating. So yeah, there's that. Let's compare it with the Troodon. Very, very similar size knife. I think I will actually down the road, if you guys are interested, will do a full comparison between these two, similar to how I did a comparison between these two. Just doing all the permutations now that I have three OTFs. That's my Microtech collection right there. But between these two, there's some pretty major differences despite being about the same size. So one is the thickness of the UTX-85 is, it's homogeneous across the whole knife, whereas the Troodon, has this tapering, which is pretty cool. Not going to get into it too much because I want to have enough for a whole other video. But you can see, the blade lengths are about the same. The profiles are a little different, just like the profile is different on the Ultratech compared to this guy. But they fill kind of the same need for me. And I just find myself going back and forth between both of these because they both work really well for that EDC OTF, which I love so much. So it's really cool to have the option. And they do feel very differently in the way they fire and the overall carry. And they're different knives. It's definitely a different model. So if you think you have a UTX-85 and you don't have a Troodon, you think they're the same, or the other way around, they're not the same. Get both. You heard it here first. So there you go. There's the comparison. We'll see a full video later. But yeah, this thing is great. I love that FDE colorway, flat dark earth, if you're unfamiliar. It's just got that really cool look. So that's pretty much all I want to discuss for this one. The coolest thing, besides being an excellent OTF, is that unique colorway and that unique combination there. So I will end this one before it becomes too long. Just a nice little overview here. And I got this from eKnives. I don't believe they have this particular one in stock anymore, but they're always getting really cool Microtechs. So I'll link them below. Also, BladeOps has a ton, really good selection of Microtechs as well. We'll link them. Please check them out and see what you can find. So that's it for this video, and we'll see you on the next one.